How's it going, guys? I am Matthias, and it is Sunday, which means I'm reading your comments. And today I'm reading your weirdest dreams, and I'm betting that they get pretty crazy weird here, all right? But before we begin, make sure you stay to the very end to hear my weirdest dream, because it's definitely weird. And question of the day for a future episode that you can put down in the comments right now is, what is the most awkward moment with you and your boyfriend slash girlfriend? And if you don't have a boyfriend slash girlfriend, or you never had a boyfriend slash girlfriend, I mean, you know, you could have an awkward moment with the boy or girl that you like. That'll work. This is probably the time where I dreamt that I was a wolf and I was with my sister who was also a wolf, and we were running from a fat hairy guy. We both jumped to a moving train, physics, and we're trying to hide. Suddenly out of nowhere, the fat guy popped out of the crate and screamed, "Valugula flacka," which scared us and we ran. Yeah, weird. Does anyone else have dreams where they get to school naked or their teeth fall out? This used to happen all the time in my dreams. I've actually had that dream, the teeth falling out one. When I was trapped in a room with a goat and the goat turned into a monkey and started yelling "baby, baby, ooh" from Justin Bieber's song Baby. Then the monkey turned into a gorilla and bugs spilled out of the mouth and the bugs killed me. That is a terrifying dream. I saw a purple tornado with a face. I think of my ex-uncle talking to my neighbor. This was like a F2 or F3. It was big, purple, and had a face. I had a dream that I was Alice in Wonderland and I was falling down the rabbit hole, but everything flying past me were items I recognized. I then woke up, stood in the middle of my room. My fiance said he had been trying to wake me up because I'd been screaming and randomly knocking items off the drawers. One time I had dreamt that I was dating Bruce, and I think he was in some kind of fish jail or aquarium. Then I rewound time and I saw a breaching whale twice. I have no idea what was wrong with me that night. My weirdest dream still scares me. I dreamt that it was the first day of school because it was August, and a guy that really creeps me out looked at me like he wanted to eat a donut with a psychopathic looking smile that ran towards me to try and kiss me. I ran away screaming while he would yell, "You'll be mine." I'm freaking scared of him, yeah. I was about 10 when I dreamt of this. And so basically I was in my house and my family, for some reason, ghost faces would appear on the wall. My mom told me that it was some sort of infestation and that the only way to get rid of these faces was to wipe them away with baby wipes. Yep, baby wipes. Then the rest of the dream was me wiping ghost faces off the wall with baby wipes. Man, chores. Gotta hate them. The weirdest and most embarrassing dream I've ever had was when I was 5. I dreamed I was getting very hot for some reason. I took off my clothes and couldn't stop sweating. Then I woke up and I didn't have any clothes on. I rolled off the top bunk and fell into the floor, and my brother woke up and made fun of me. When I was young, I had a dream where there was a giraffe in a well. It was dead, but it was pretending to be alive. What? How? I walked out of the bank and got shot in the knee by a small blonde girl in a black dress. Ever since, I've been terrified of blonde children. The weirdest dream I ever had is that my high school took a class trip with my crazy English teacher to Africa. My friends and I were stranded in a desert and Obama picked us up in his private jet and took us home. This was like when I was 4, so I was fishing with my dad. I had literally never gone fishing in my whole life, and I thought I hooked a really big fish, but when I pulled it up, it was actually a vampire, and my dad and I just kind of stood there, and then the vampire ate me. The weirdest dream I had was when I was on a train with Markiplier and the Game Grumps. They started arguing, so I gave them some homemade cookies. After they finished it, you just showed up, and you were upset because there were no cookies left, and Ross just asked one thing: who is this guy? Matthias? Thank you, Ross. My weirdest dream was that I was asleep, and this was after watching The Lion King when I was 5. I had this dream that Puma had tied me to a tree, then he was trying to eat me, and then when I woke up, my brother was kissing my forehead. A lot more scary than it sounds. Where my cat was dancing in a taco suit, and the song "It's Raining Tacos" was playing in the background. I was the queen. I'm a guy. And I knighted Jacksepticeye, then he turned into a knight and killed the king, then married me. I'm not gay, trust me. I once had a dream that Markiplier... How come all of you guys are dreaming about Markiplier? I once had a dream that Markiplier was at my house, but him and I were mermaids, and that my basement was filled with water, and that's where we lived, I guess. There was this hole in the back of my dog's cage that led to a street by my house. The entire dream shifted, and this street was full of snow, and Mark wanted to go sledding, but then he couldn't because he didn't want to touch the snow. I have so many weird dreams, but this is the first one that popped into my head. I think you need to stop watching Markiplier so much. He's getting into your subconscious. I dreamed that I went to heaven, but I I had to take a roller coaster to get to the main part of heaven. When I got there, God told me I forgot to do my homework and that I had to finish it before I could join the others. So I got into this tiny white room to color a kiddie book. The whole time I was upset because I wanted to have fun with the others. When I finished, I was back on Earth. I walked into the living room to see my dad and two of his friends having a rather sophisticated discussion about a kids show that they were watching. I dreamed that I met you and Amanda at VidCon, and when you came to take a pic with me, you spontaneously combusted. Hey, you gotta watch out though. When you guys ever see me in public and come and say hi, just be careful. I might spontaneously combust. My weirdest dream I ever had was when I had a dream about my grandmother and driving my school bus, and I was laughing like an evil maniac. Then she turned her head all the way around like an owl and asked if I was all right. Then we drove off a cliff. One night I dreamt about pigs constantly beating me up. Yep, that happened. I was walking my goat around the school while naked. It happened while I was sleeping in class. My weirdest dream was a zombie apocalypse, but with pigs and cows. This was 3 months ago. Pig apocalypse. Man, you guys seem to all dream about pigs. How weird. Like 7 years ago, I had a dream that me and my friends were on a dark dirt road with no buildings for miles except a strange hotel. In true horror movie style, we decided to go in one by one. Turns out the hotel was run by a cartoonish hungry shark. Not only did we all end up eaten, but when entering the hotel, there was literally nothing there except the shark and pure black room. No water, of course, just the shark. A flying shark. A couple of weeks ago, I dreamt I was in a bedroom. Monsters were after me. I crapped myself, literally, and woke up later during the night. My weirdest dream happened a few days ago, actually. All animals were acting like humans, and all humans were acting like animals! You could see bears wearing really expensive suits and suitcases, giraffes as doctors, ducks as lawyers, and many more. The weirdest of all was that people were running around on all fours naked. It was both hilarious and terrifying. My weirdest dream was when I was in 5th grade and I had a dream where I was being chased by fractions and they were slicing me into their fractions, a half cutting me in half, and so on. I didn't really much like math then, nor now. Fractions, a half cut him in half. When I was 4 or 5, I was at a swimming pool, but for some reason there was a train in the shower room. My mom said we had to get on, but the train was out of fuel, so the driver decided we had to use the children for fuel. I don't know what I was thinking about that day. I was one of the ones that was going to be the fuel. I had a dream that I was lining up to have a flu injection. The only thing was that the nurse was crazy and stabbed me and my friend in the head. For some strange reason, I wasn't terrified. I was just walked away with my friend saying, "Hey Aaron, I can see your brain." I'm a weird person. There were purple crocodiles with pink spiky mohawks stealing all the cats. Yep. I had a dream where basically I was standing on a cliff. Markiplier. Again? Markiplier pushed me off for some messed up reason and I was falling. A unicorn stabbed me and I grew a unicorn horn. I was still falling until Yoshi caught me and we started a Mario level. Bowser ripped my unicorn horn off and threw me down a tube thing. When I landed, I found myself on the cliff again and then I woke up. WTF! I had this dream in which Zeus was rapping about how he was gonna kick my butt and that there was no escape. Don't really remember the lyrics, but his beat was nice. My weirdest dream was that I was with my friends and our parents left us in this play area. Long story short, the play area turned into the ocean with stingrays and sharks and all my friends and me gotten eaten. Worst thing is I needed to go to the beach the next day. Probably when I dreamt of watching myself dream and then waking myself up in the dream by tickling myself. Oh man, like this video if that's not the weirdest dream you've ever heard. Weirdest dream I ever had was being chased by a blue tiger striped T-Rex wearing a party hat through my house. I hid under my parents' bed as it looked for me, then I flipped the bed, I was under it and it looked at me and I said, "Sup, want some Kool-Aid?" My weirdest dream was that I was in China and I went to a construction site where there was a massive hole. I tripped against a piece of metal and fell in and found myself in Australia and then woke up. The weirdest dream I ever had was when I dreamt that Morgan Freeman would take kids into closets and ask them to read books to him. If you were picked, you were special. If you were picked, you were special. One time when I was little, I dreamed that a T-Rex was raiding my hometown and I saw his eye in my bedroom window. I ran downstairs and hid under the table, but he reached through the window. He ate me, pooped me out, and then I fell in love with him and he became a human and we got married. I was like 7 when I dreamed this. I was watching a horror movie that night, so I was watching it. I fell asleep and dreamt that I woke up because I heard a sound downstairs. When I opened my eyes in the dream, I saw a big dark figure with a butcher knife and he sliced my left arm. The craziest part was when I woke up, I felt as if I had no arm because it was numb. My weirdest dream is that I dreamed that I had to pee really bad, so I got up and went to the bathroom to pee. I woke up and I realized that I peed in my bed. I think everyone's done that at least once. I was a teenage mutant ninja turtle getting chased by a fat man on a bike with grease stains and carrot on his shirt. When I was little, I had a dream where nightgowns were falling down from the ceiling, all creepy like. I don't know why, but I just started screaming and crying. It wasn't scary, I guess I just didn't like nightgowns. A weird dream I had was my family and I were walking down a freeway, but then my mom's leg got ran over, but instead of seeing no leg, I saw my mom's leg was just flattened and started to reinflate, and then I woke up. What? I couldn't breathe. Turns out my cat was just on my face. I was going to the bathroom. Before I opened the door, I saw water coming from under it. The door exploded and a giant toilet came out. The entire house was flooded. The giant toilet ate my entire family. I was 4 and I didn't go to the bathroom for a month. My weirdest dreams, okay, one time I dreamt about me playing soccer football with heads. Turns out I was kicking my friend's head repeatedly. We were having a sleepover. I once had a dream that I was a piece of paper and people were scrunching me and made me into a paper ball and then folded me open and scrunched me again. Yeah, weird. My weirdest dream was me at my house and I was trying to sneak a crocodile through my front door. I was trying to get it into the basement without anybody seeing. I was being chased by a robber and then suddenly I realized it was a dream, so I turned around and pulled my hand up and said pew pew. The robber was shot. I was running around in this perfect neighborhood when I see like a cloud of gnomes running toward me. They mauled me to death, or at least I thought so. When I woke up from being dead, I played dead so that the gnomes would run past and then keep running. This repeated about a dozen times during the night. I had a reoccurring dream when I was younger that I was being chased by a polar bear in an underwater tunnel. Every time I would have the dream, more of me was eaten by the polar bear. Eventually, an old lady smacked the bear on the nose and it burst into a variety of lollies, but I still only had my left forearm and hand alongside my head. I often dream that all my teeth fall out and grow back continuously. It freaks me out every time. My weirdest dream is me finally getting a girlfriend. Oh, Garrett McDermott. So in my dream, I was sucked into my Nintendo DS and I became Princess Peach, WTF, and a bear was hunting me down. When he finally got me, he started scratching me. He did this several times. It was like I kept on failing at the same level, and on the 7th time, he took his hand down my throat and took out my heart. Imagine this in a DS design. I was 8. A few years back, I had this dream where my face was falling off. My dad was panicking, saying, "We need to take him to the hospital," and mom said, "He'll be fine. Just get the duct tape." All right, guys, now it is time for my weirdest dream. But before I get into that, make sure you subscribe if you're new here because it's a lot of fun on this channel and I'm just gonna embarrass myself for no reason if you don't subscribe, so subscribe. All right, my dream. It all started with me and my family going out to get some pizza. Me and my family would frequently go out and get pizza, and we were all walking into the sit-down pizza restaurant, and then out of nowhere, you know the stranger danger, the ones that are wearing like trench coats and like the fedora tipped down so you can't see their face? Well, a stranger out of nowhere with a wheelbarrow just scooped me up and started running with me. I was in the wheelbarrow and he just scooped me up and started running towards the cliff and just dumped me out. I don't know. My family didn't seem too concerned. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you click like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. High five.